Hey travelers, I'm really sorry I am behind on this video. I have a lot of stuff going on with my health coaching business, and so it's a bit tough juggling everything, but I let you guys know on Facebook last night. If you don't already follow me on Facebook, I highly recommend that you do follow me on Facebook, because that is where I usually let you guys know of any updates about whether I'm going to be late on an upload or not, or if I'm going to talk with you guys live like I did the other night. I think it was last Friday night. I got to talk to some of you guys, but we had complications again. So I will eventually find a way to live stream you guys without problems, eventually. But anyway, follow me on Facebook if you don't, because that's how I keep guys updated with what's going on in my life and with this whole project or this channel. And I didn't even know what I was going to do for this video, actually. But it came to me last night while writing that message. So I am quite sure that a lot of you who are planning on coming to Lima because of studies or work, or you're just going to travel through here, are probably a bit stressed about getting around Lima while using public city buses here. Because you've probably seen in my last few videos about transportation that we have a number of different buses that come in all types of colors, sizes, shapes, conditions, and so it can be really overwhelming to have to take those buses, because you obviously don't want to get lost and possibly end up in the wrong neighborhood. So if you're a backpacker especially and you're traveling on a budget, you can't afford to take taxis everywhere, although taxis here in Lima are a lot cheaper than where you're probably from, but still you may be on a budget, and so you need to especially know how to take these public city buses here in order to save money. So I'm gonna hopefully give you a few tools that will help you feel more prepared about how to kind of figure out which buses you need to take when you're traveling around Lima. Okay, so I researched a bit today, very frantically, all of these different things, and hopefully some of these help you. I have not used any of the things that I am going to help you today, and I will mention that at the end of the video, why, but I will try to give you some of these things that you can hopefully use to your advantage. So I wrote it on my sticky note with my messy notes. The first website that I found today was Geo Callao. You don't have to try to write any of this down. I will have everything in the description below, all the links and stuff to all of these things, but I checked it out today on my PC, so I haven't tested it out on my phone yet. You guys can do that and let me know in the comments below, but I checked it out on my PC and it didn't seem to work all that well, but it did have a lot of pros and yeah, a few cons. So the pros were that the option that did work well for my laptop, at least, is that one, it has a video tutorial that shows you how to use the site. The site is in Spanish only, but the video tutorial doesn't have any audio. You just kind of follow what the person is doing and you can kind of figure it out, especially if you have like minimal Spanish. You can kind of understand what's on the site as well. And so it shows you, one, through video tutorials, how to use the site, and then the two options that you have to try to find routes from Callao to wherever else is, one, you have the option to find a street that you're trying to get to, and then it pulls up like any possible routes that you can take. On the left hand side, you'll see different buses kind of pop up or something that you can click on. And then the other way to look up a route is by clicking the different districts that you're trying to go to. In the second part, it'll show you like from this district to this district. That worked for me well, and it showed me all the options, because when I would try to pull up just street names, it wasn't working well for me. It would say it couldn't pull up any matches to what I was looking for, so I thought that was weird. But the other part did work, and then it would show me all of these different buses that I could take, so I would click on them and then it would highlight the route that bus took, and I could click on there for more information. I could see, not always, but a lot of the times I could see a picture of the bus that I wanted to take, and it would show me the description of the starting point of this route, the ending point, and all the main streets in between, and the route number and stuff. So I thought that was really great and very detailed, so that's what I really liked about that site. But you guys can definitely use that. The next website that I found was Busca Tu Ruta, which means find your route. And some people I know use this website, but I tried using it today and I kept having issues. It would not pull up anything. So I don't think that that's a good site to try out, but I had to still mention it in case you hear it from anyone else. It didn't work on my PC. I don't know why. Maybe it'll work on yours, because I know some people still use it, so it has to work for some people. I don't know, but that's another possibility. Then a couple applications that you guys can try to use are Combi Ruta. I have not seen this application, like I haven't downloaded it on my phone and tried it out, but it gives you some routes. I think there are some issues though, some glitches still that need to be worked out from what I read online, because the 3 following apps that I'm going to mention, this one included, I got from a Peruvian newspaper here where they recommended it. So that's a possible application that you can use, is Combi Ruta. Another one that you can use is Quiero Ir, but I believe I read on the newspaper site that it said it's not actually an application, you use it on your PC. So it's I'll have the link in the description below, but you have to use it on your laptop, and it seems to do okay, but still there needs to be some things that need to be worked out. Another one is Guia de Buses, Lima y Callao. So that's the Spanish version. If you want the English version, it's Bus Guide for Lima and Callao. So that's another application that you can use, but it's kind of like, it's not a nice application. It looks really ghetto, I think. But it's a possibility for you guys, so you can try that out. Now, in case you want to take the Metropolitano, then you can always go to the Metropolitano site, but it doesn't have all the routes listed on there. But that, I'll still leave that in the description below, and I'll talk more about this in a future video that specifically talks about the Metropolitano buses. But I'll have that down in the description. You can check that out. Another application that you can use is Tu Micro. So you could try that, but I read that it doesn't work very well for iPhones and some other phone brands. So I suppose it works for phones that use Android, I suppose. But that's another application that you can try to use. Now, another one that was popular, I think a few years ago, was Rutas Recomendables. And I believe that a Dutch guy created this map where it had the different, not all of them, but just a few main bus routes that could take you from different places in Lima, most of the touristy type areas, I believe. And he created this map where it showed you the picture of the bus and what color its route was gonna be on the map. And basically it was a really nice map that you could print out, download and print out. It used to cost $5, and you would download this, and then you would see which buses you needed to take in order to get you to the different like tourist sites or whatever. But unfortunately, because of the changes in the transportation that the municipality of Lima has made, they've really disrupted a lot of the traditional bus routes. So because they wanted to kind of put into more order, so now that map isn't valid anymore, but the guy who created this map still lets you download a low resolution version of the map, and you can also still download a high definition, I believe, version of a map about Combi specifically, and that's available for $2.50 is from what I read on the site. So you still have those options. Now, how I figured out how to get around Lima, because when I first got here, I didn't know anything about these sites, and I think I tried looking up stuff back in those days. This was like 7 years ago or something, and there was nothing online, I believe, back in those days. So the way I figured out how to get around Lima was, I'm telling you guys, this is how I seriously started getting around Lima. I would get on a bus at a certain bus stop, memorize the color, the lines, the different colored lines, just memorize that one bus. Get on this bus, pay 1 sol or whatever, and ride the bus for like 20-30 minutes, and then get off that bus stop, walk over to the other side of the street and take that one same bus back the same way I had come, just so I could become familiarized with the different buses that I would see along the way, and that I could start feeling comfortable with that one bus. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what I did, because years ago when I went to New York for the summer to stay with my uncle, I was 15 years old, and I was freaking out of my mind, like just panicking, having to take the subway, even though they have like a map and everything explaining to you like which trains or whatever take you where and where you need to change and etc. Like, I had never been raised, I was raised in a city where they didn't really have public transportation. Like, they had buses, but only in certain parts of the city, not in all parts. And I never really had to take a bus because where I was raised, people mostly had their own cars. So I had never really been exposed to public transportation. And when I had to go to New York and meet my uncle one day at his job, I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna get lost, someone's gonna kill me. And seriously, like, the only time I would, like, when my uncle would go out to work and stuff and I would stay at his house alone, I would literally like walk 10 blocks one way, walk 10 blocks up another way, and then walk those same 10, 20 blocks back home. And that was it. Like, I was afraid of my mind. So when I came back to Lima and I was basically on my own, I was freaking out. I was like, if I could barely survive New York and New York had organization, I don't know how I'm gonna survive Lima. But that's what I did. And it really did help me a lot, just be more comfortable with my surroundings, because initially when you go somewhere and you haven't been there before, it seems kind of scary, like especially when you hear all of these negative things about South America and the crime and all this crap. You know, you are afraid of something bad happening to you. It's natural. But when you become familiarized with your surroundings, then it's not so intimidating or scary anymore. And I think that's the whole point. So for me, that really helped a lot. And really, like, if you guys saw my long video on that map that I showed you that shows you the different block numbers and stuff, that really helped out a lot as well. Because then I would know exactly like which block I needed to get off at, and I could manage it better. So within a year, basically, when I started working and stuff, and I had to, as an English teacher, I had to travel to all of these different companies to give classes, and you know, I had to go to different places in Lima. So basically within a year, I knew how to get around the main parts of Lima, I think, where I would have to work or kind of hang around. Like, I knew how to get around pretty much on my own. All on my own. Within about a year, I figured it out. And that for me made me feel so proud, because my cousins who had been raised here all of their lives didn't even know how to take any buses anywhere. And I knew way more than them. And they would ask something and I would be like, oh yeah, you have to take this bus and this bus and this. It takes you here, it drops you off there, etc. Because I memorized everywhere I went. I would really pay attention to the different buses in that area. So I would know, okay, you know, I can always take this bus. And once you kind of learn which buses are where, then you know how to like take little shortcuts. If you don't mind paying a little extra to take 2 or 3 different buses sometimes, then you learn how to get to places faster, because you can take one bus and it'll take this really long zigzag type route to your destination, or you can take bus A to point B and get off there and take another bus, and then this will drop you off here, and then you can take another bus and then go straight there, and you get there a lot faster. I don't know if I explained myself very well. So that's why it's really important to try to memorize these different buses. And really, how I figured out how to get around, besides using that map that I showed you guys, paying attention to the bus colors and stuff, was I would see the names on the sides of the buses, and those were the main avenues or places where the buses would go through. So I would pay attention and I would be like, okay, it goes through here, etc., etc. And like, that helped a lot as well. Like, you can kind of see from a distance as it's coming to you the names on the side of the bus, and you can kind of see whether or not it's going in the direction you need to go to or not. Or you can look at the names on the front of the bus, and on the front of the bus you'll have 2 names, and one is the starting point and the ending point for the route. So you could kind of have an idea of if it's going in your direction or not, if you know kind of the geography of Lima. That's why it's really important to kind of know the districts on a map. And you know, obviously if you know Spanish and you can communicate with the driver, then you can obviously, just after you've kind of seen whether it's going in your direction or not, you can ask the cobrador or the chofer or the datero that's there. And you should know all these terms from my previous videos, but you can ask these people like, hey, does this bus go here, you know, etc., just to confirm. So that is how you learn to get around Lima. I'm really sorry, we're so disorganized and we don't have some kind of bus route website thing that's official and beautiful and easy to understand. We don't have that. Transportation in Lima is so complex, and I will probably explain this in a future video, or maybe my next video, I don't know. So, but I hope that this has helped you a lot. At least you know about some things that you can use potentially, and how I figured out how to get around, and that will help you out too. And don't be afraid, it's okay. You will learn how to get around Lima just fine. It's not a problem. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video today and that it has helped you. And thank you so much for your time once again. I'm really excited because tonight I get to go to the airport to meet up with my subscriber and her family to pick up the GoPro that James got me, which is awesome. And I'm excited to share that with you all. And I'm also going to be partying with her on Saturday because she invited me to her house for a little party. So hopefully, you know, they have music and stuff and I can record and show you guys that. And I'm sorry again that I've been a bit delayed on this video, but if you haven't, you know, if you don't follow me on Instagram on my Vida Sana channel, I'm a health coach and I make healthy food and I inspire people. And last week I really just got really motivated to really start making nice, delicious food for people, to keep them motivated, inspired. And so making these beautiful food creations takes some time, and I had to stop eating, people. Like, I made this dish, I took pictures, and then I was like, okay, I don't have time to eat. I'm just gonna sit in front of the computer and research very quickly before the sun goes down because I don't have lighting equipment, so I really have to take advantage of the daylight. And I was sitting in front of my computer like a fatty, eating my falafels. And just like, oh, I really hate eating in front of my computer, but like, I was like, I'm hungry, but I have to research, I can't wait. And anyway, that's my story. So thank you once again for watching until the very end. I know I ramble sometimes, but I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.